So this is another webinar in the Be the Sniper or Be the Target series. My name is Daryl Martin with ApexInvesting.com. And I constantly bring this up, but it literally is your choice. It's a choice that you make. Are you going to be the sniper or be the target? And that's not just about the trading and the pushing the buttons. That's about the psychological, the mental capital. Because think about how much it takes for a sniper to sit there and be patient for the right trade and then be confident enough to execute that trade. Think about how easily it'd be for them to sabotage themselves, getting restless, moving around, giving away their position, firing off just to get the shot off versus being patient. So, and there's a lot of patience being required right now. Would y'all agree with that? So with the markets today being slow, a lot of patience. Now that patience builds discipline. Would you agree with that? Or could, really build a lack of discipline, I guess, depending on how you react to it. And if you get that discipline while markets are slow, then you will have the confidence when markets are fast. Does that make sense? Because once you have that discipline down, then it's really easy to execute. Okay? And you have to be ready to be able to trade in multiple market conditions. That's one of the hardest things about trading, is not every day is the same. If every day was the same, it would be just really easy. But this psychological piece is such a huge part of being able to be successful as market conditions change. Learning how to slow down when you need to, when things are going slow, and not just take trades just because you want to, or not just skipping out of them because it's going so slow that you're used to, a 30-second profit, and now it takes you 15 minutes as it oscillates and you just jump out, right? Versus when things are fast and then being able to hop in when they're fast. So you have to be able to adjust. So use these slow market conditions to your favor to build your mental capital. So that way when you have faster market conditions, when everybody comes back from the Christmas holiday and things speed up around the middle of January, that you're ready. So this isn't a bad thing that it's slow. It's actually a very good training ground for you. Okay? Somebody goes to sniper school. Do you think they just practice in one condition or multiple conditions? Yeah, multiple. They don't just practice in one. So you're practicing. Remember, we take 30 to 60 days here. You're practicing, right? And you're getting used to all these different conditions. I mean, there's going to be some wild markets like we had last week at the end of the week. There's going to be that rollover scenario that we're sort of like just about to get out of now. There's going to be range markets. There's going to be trending markets. There's going to be tweeting markets, right? There's going to be pure trending markets. There's a whole variety of market conditions. And you have to be able to adapt to those markets, not only with your system, which the nice thing, Sniper really does that by teaching you levels and stacks and things like that, but also mentally. And this is the part that almost every trader wants to leave out. They want to go in and they want to find that holy grail, but what they don't realize is that holy grail is literally inside themselves. Because the best system in the world, without the right mental capacity, it doesn't matter how good your gun is, a sniper, if you don't know how to use it correctly. If you can't deal under different conditions, right? So this is literally one of the most important aspects of trading. Obviously, in all trading, there's risk. Know what you do before you're doing it, etc. Okay? So diving in, I wanted to remind you to spread the word. Keep telling your friends and relatives, it's nice to have somebody that understands what you're doing. We got our Facebook group. You get first access to content. So if you're not in the Facebook group already, hop on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, hop on Facebook. Just type in Apex Investing and you'll see a page and a group. Make sure you hop in and get on the group. Okay? And then like Facebook and share the post. Okay? If you'll hop on our page and share the post, that gets you entered into drawings. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.apexinvesting, share those. Post your experiences in the forum. Maybe you're not a Facebook person, okay? And then refer others to keep the cost low. And we do contests. And we actually have a winner. What we're doing is we're giving away a free month. Every month, we're going to give away one free month. So I'm going to announce a winner tonight of somebody who has been liking a lot of posts and sharing a lot of posts. And would y'all like to know who that is? Maybe it's you. So you ready? Okay, so tonight's winner is Dottie Rogers. You get a free month. You're actually already a subscriber, but we're going to go ahead and adjust your billing to give you an entire free month on top of that. She's a monthly subscriber right now. We're adding that on at no additional cost. So congratulations to Dottie. She's been around Apex for a long time and been a big supporter. And so somebody's like, yay, Dottie, she's in my mentor group. So yeah, a lot of y'all know who Dottie is. So she just won a free month. And so I want to congratulate you. And like I said, every month we're going to give away, another free month. Okay? So make sure you are hopping on Facebook, liking every post you can, sharing every post you can, and posting inside the Facebook group, posting on the forum as often as possible, things that you've learned inside the sniper section. I also look in there to see sniper posts to look and pull people out. Make sure you're looking at you can do this and why you should, posting your progress, okay? So just take advantage of that. It helps us keep our costs low, and it helps keep your costs low because, like I said, we've given away free years, we've given away free lifetimes, and we've given away free month memberships. You never know which one it's going to be, okay? So just want to knock that out real quick and remind everybody. And if I can get this to work. There we go. So webinar 11, we're going into mental capital section 2. So how many of you were on the mental capital section 1 that we did earlier this week? So a bunch of it. You got a lot out of it, right? Very self-reflective. Sweet. Now, how many of you have access to the All-In Mental Capital course, where I do all 7 sessions training on, taking my last 15 plus years of trading experience and the trading mentors and even the trading psychologists that I've worked with? So a ton of you have it. Some of you will have it. So, all right, well, we're going to talk about the special again on that tonight. It's a lot less than it normally cost because I want to give you access to it, okay? So let's talk about what we're covering today in the training. We're going to go over fighting fire with fire, okay? And you'll find out what that means. We're going to talk about fear of losing. Anybody have that? Anybody have the fear of losing when they put on trades so they don't put them on? And then you're like, I should have taken it. There was literally no reason not to take it except for my fear. Okay, so I think everybody has literally just about replied. So a lot of people are like, yeah, it cost me a lot this minting. There's my typo. So, by the way, if you're around Apex a while, you realize I'm a great trader. I'm not great at the whole grammar, typing, spell check thing. That's my wife. She's an English teacher, and I really should be better about letting her, edit my PowerPoints, but I'm just not. So, but here's what I can do. I can go in, and I can magically fix it. Okay, so fear of missing out. Anybody have the fear of missing out? And so maybe you put on a trade because you see something moving, and you really shouldn't put on the trade, but you put it on anyway because you're like, this thing's going and I should be in. I'm going to miss out on this big runner. And then magically you happen to buy at the top and the bottom. And then you're like, oh my God, I should not have done that. Okay, so we got fear of losing for not getting in. And then we got fear of missing out, hopping in on trades you shouldn't. And do you think this can even be amplified when markets are slow? Like these fears can just grow because you're having to sit there as it ticks. Yeah, it's worse. It's so much harder when it's slow because you have way too much time to think. Okay? And so you're trying to see a trade when you shouldn't, or you're trying to you have 10 minutes to figure out why you shouldn't take a trade, right? So it just gets amplified. And here's what happens is when markets are flying and you have that fear of missing out, you hop in and a lot of times it can work for you because it's really flying. But then markets slow down and you take that same bad practice into slow markets and then it just kicks your butt. Okay? So anybody have regret? Everybody ever deal with regret in their trades or their day of trading? I mean, I know I have. I mean, I was talking to somebody in the room earlier. I was talking to one of the Grants in the room, or no, let's talk Doug. And I was like, my bad days are almost always pretty much are mental. They're not even bad. Like I look at the chart and I'm like, why did I not kill it today? Like there was no reason. It's just absolutely stupid. Okay, and then you have that regret. Do you think that regret, if you don't learn how to dilute it, could impact you going forward on your next day or your next trade? Replay can be really embarrassing. Yes, it can. I mean, seriously, this is something to think about. Do you think when you have that regret, if you don't dilute it down, can really impact you? I hate having to hate myself in the morning. Yeah, I mean, you go in there and you're like there's no reason I shouldn't have done that. I actually just ordered 2 signs. Two of my mentors have these. And I went and ordered them off Etsy. I ordered like these professional ski signs. And I'll put a picture up. They ought to be here tomorrow. And they literally have like rule number 1, like trade to trade well. Rule number 2, what do you think rule number 2 is? Break my rules, lose my house. That's it. But those 2 things right there are all about like, okay, I need to only take the trades I should trade. And if I break them, like I'm literally completely risking my ability to have any kind of financial stability. So we're going to talk about that. Here's another one we're going to talk about. And I know when we did this seminar live, and of course I go into a lot more detail in the live course, but everybody, have you ever thought about how winners feel bad? And there's 2 ways they can feel bad. There's actually several ways they can feel bad. Has anybody ever felt bad after a winner? Like, I should have won more. Oh man, I could have got 20 points. Why'd I only get 10 ticks? You ever had that? And here's a really weird one. When you win a lot, and I know some of y'all have had this, when you win a lot, that you almost feel bad, like you're cheating or doing something wrong. Some people are like, nope, not a problem. David's like, yep, this month. Never had that problem yet. It does come up. It's funny. So you win and win and win. You just like, man, it almost feels like it's wrong. It's too easy. But we're going to talk about the other one mainly, how winners can feel bad. And how that can mess with you because you're like, man, then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how to go for 10 points all the time. And you're missing out on the fact that 10 ticks adds up to 6 figures a year. And then another one. Anybody have perfectionism problems? A few of you? Got to know anything before I can do everything. I don't know this perfectly, so I can't place a trade unless Daryl calls it. Maybe if I could just add one more indicator or learn some of the power plays, then I can do this right. Okay, so I wish y'all could see all the responses. I hate how GoToWebinar took away the ability. Stephanie said I took off all the extra indicators I have added. So that's good. So these are the topics we're gonna dive into. Also, at the end, I'm gonna go into a couple things about order prints and replay on some common things that have been coming up. So if you've had any issues with order prints or replay, stay on. And then if you're having a lot of tech issues, my wife and kids are out at my friend's house tonight doing a thing. So I am going to stay on the chat on the website for about an hour. And if anybody has a technical support issue that they need, I will hop on your computer and help you. How does that sound? Yeah, like that? All right, so this ought to be a very productive night, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm excited about this. This is one of the best topics and also one of the least paid attention to. I said this on the last webinar. This, every time we do a psychology webinar, it's one of the lowest that we ever have. Like, as far as attendance. Because people just don't get how important it is. But once you get it, yeah, I know people don't, it's like they haven't traded long enough to know. They think it's about indicators. Okay? So, y'all are the smart people. You're going to make it your 90 days, your 12 months, going to rock it. Okay? So, fighting fire with fire. This is a question I have learned helps me so much. I use my emotions to control my emotions because my emotions fuel my decisions. If you were on section 1 last time, remember we talked about the emotions are the driver to the car? Okay, and the car happens to be, your trading system. Before you take a trade, literally ask yourself, how will I be feeling in the future if I take this trade? This is a lot more powerful than intellectually telling yourself not to. Like, don't do the trade. I shouldn't do that trade. Like, if I take this trade and it wins, I'll know I shouldn't have taken it. And I just got lucky. If I lose, I'll feel really stupid. Or, hey, if I take this trade, the system said to, and there was no obstructions, I followed the rules, and it won, awesome. If it didn't, that's going to happen sometimes. So to help you not ignore a trade that's good, and to help you not do a trade that's not good, literally this simple question: how will I be feeling in the future if I take this trade? And you'll have plenty of time when the markets are slow to ask yourself this question. That's why I said slow markets help to build your ability to have confidence in placing a trade. What do y'all think about this question? If you actually asked yourself this question before every trade, not like, is it going to win or going to lose, but how will I feel in the future if I take this trade? So I want you to think about it for a second. Think about today. Some of y'all talked about today being rough. Some of y'all had a good day. Some of y'all had a bad day. I called a couple losses in the room. I also called a number of other trades in the room that won. Yeah, it's a really natural question. How will I be feeling in the future if I take this trade? This can really help you out as far as not taking stupid trades you shouldn't and saying, well, I did what I was supposed to. I followed the system. This could be another thing to hang over. I might even order another one and put this above my desk as well. Yeah, stop feeling like you got lucky. So do y'all think y'all might want to write that down? How will I be feeling in the future if I take this trade? Is that worth writing down and putting up on top of your, I don't care if it's on a piece of paper with a marker or a pen, and then stick it up on the wall or something where you can see it to remind yourself to ask you that question. Grant's like, do I feel lucky? But seriously, if you started asking yourself that before every trade, do you think you'd actually start making better decisions? Yes, because you're fighting fire with fire. Remember, you're going to have, does putting on a trade cause emotion? Come on, I got about 10 responses so far. Does putting on trades cause emotion? Would you like to get ahead of that emotional fireball that is about to happen after you hit enter? Would you like to get ahead of that? Because you're not going to eliminate it. Okay? But to get ahead of it, acknowledge what's about to happen. How am I going to feel when I put this on? So you've already got the emotional fire against the fire, the emotion against the emotion. You're prepared for the emotion because you've already thought about not just the execution, not just the intellectual, it's a setup too. I buy a tick above because it had an Xbox and a trapped. You thought, I'm going to have emotion about this. How am I going to feel about this? Are you starting to get the power of that simple question? It's getting ahead of your emotions, acknowledging your emotions that they exist. That is actually the real secret to dealing with your emotions. Is knowing what the feelings are going to be before they happen so you're ready for them. Otherwise, they put you in a state of panic and shock and you tighten the stops, you get out of a trade too early. The only ones you hold on to lose. You're up 4 ticks, you tighten it up to break even. Right? Because all the emotions are happening. There's no other reason for you to do it. So if I take this trade, it's the right trade. I'm probably going to feel a little nervous on it, but I know that's going to happen. I'm going to want to tighten my stop. Well, what I need to do is make sure my everything's set right. Got to follow my plan. Oh, you're talking about me, Karen says. Yes, I'm talking about me too. The me is all of us. So start recognizing like you're sort of doing the same thing over and over again, right? Like Rob, have you been sort of running on into the same problem over and over again? Didn't hold on to the trade, would have been a full profitable trade? Big time, yeah. And that's the emotional aspect, right? Yeah, Doug, keep closing out early. Stephanie's like, I've done that. So if you start acknowledging that emotion up front, knowing that it's going to happen, you will have a lot more ability to not let it control you because you're just like, hey, I know you're there. Versus trying to fight the emotion. Because that's what we try to do. We try to fight the emotion. We try to be a Spock and we lose that often. Okay? So I'm hoping y'all are like, this is such a simple slide, but it is so massively powerful. Put it on your desk. So some of y'all have already done it as we're talking. So kudos. If you haven't, you need to put it on your desk. You need to find a piece of paper right now, find your phone and text yourself, put a reminder on your phone, whatever, but start asking yourself, how will I be feeling in the future if I take this trade? Rob's already sticky tabbed it on his trading monitor. Stephanie's put it up. Now, there we go. Keep doing that, okay? Got to put this stuff into practice. Robert Martin says, emotion really is the make or break issue in this game, and it is. And the thing is, nobody really teaches us how to deal with them because the emotions that we use in everyday life don't apply to trading. You don't willpower through it. TZ's like, I need a bigger desk for all my notes. But the trick is acknowledging it. That it's going to happen. Being aware of your emotion before your emotion even happens. All right. So good slide right there, right? So, exiting early. How will I feel if I exit early? I'm like, no, stop. So how will I feel if I exit early? Ask yourself before you get in the trade. Okay? Ask yourself before you exit early. And I'm not talking about like how it happens after the fact, because it's going to you're going to exit early and it's going to go all the way, and then you're not going to exit early and then it's going to go against you. And your emotions have the magical ability to sabotage your trading. Would y'all agree? So when we exit early, we're operating out of the fear of giving back what we made. We're operating out of regret. We're operating on that, well, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. Right? We are literally making the decision to avoid regret, and then we end up regretting it. Is that true? You literally are making a decision to avoid regret that's going to cause you regret. Why do you think the sniper has you focus on 10 tick profits? Do you think that was just an accident of magically it worked so well? Or do you think it was actually built in to help you psychologically so you didn't have to figure out 10 and 20 point runs? Why do you think we have you build an ATM? To help you with this stuff. So it wasn't just to build you up to making big runs. It was building you up just to take profits. It was actually built to help you with the psychology part. Sniper's not just about the setups and OP. It's actually about the psychology built into the system. I mean, 6-3 is about the psychology. You ever get angry when you trade? Got some that are no, yes, sometimes. The therapist says no. I'm a revenge trading professional, only at Carl. Sometimes. So anger makes things. Here's the thing that people don't. When you get angry, it makes things look less risky and alters your perception. So you'll start to do things you shouldn't do when you're angry. Think about how like an angry person does really stupid stuff that they regret later. Like I'm just outside of trading. They get reckless. They punch somebody in the face and they get sued. You know, whatever, arrested, because they don't see the risk. Their perception changes. Happiness also decreases your recognition of risk. You ever rocket and all of a sudden you think you're a trading god? And it turns into overconfidence? That happened to anybody? Or like, am I the only one that gets really happy about winning like multiple trades in a row and then thinks I can just own the world? Or elation, as it's called in the book Trading in the Zone. A legend in your own mind. Exactly. So just knowing that these two emotions, when they happen, will decrease your perception of risk, and then recognizing that you're experiencing them and going, hey, I need to get my emotions in check. I'm angry. I'm more likely to make risky decisions. I got to chill out for a minute. Dude, I am so happy. I took 3, all 3 won. I want to go for like 10 more. Okay, are y'all starting to get like what I'm trying to get across? About the emotion. It's recognizing the emotion and then the impact that emotion has. So anger makes things look less risky. Happiness or elation decreases your recognition of risk, which makes things look less risky. So try to stay cool, but if you're not staying cool and you're getting into that elation or anger, be aware of it. Talk to yourself about it. Talk to your dog. Don't make a trading decision until you get yourself back in check, but be aware of it. Otherwise, if you're just going to keep punching forward in the middle of anger and happiness, you're going to make bad decisions. So it's a lot of self-awareness. let's keep diving in. So hopefully y'all are picking this up. So here is how you break the cycle. Feel what you feel as much as you can feel it. This is the exact opposite of what we try to do. We try to push our feelings down, don't we? Don't we try to push them down as we're trading because we're trying to be cool? Be a robot? It's like, I gotta not be stupid. Okay, I just gotta trade the system. But you're all, what you need to do is stop that. Stop trying to push it down and acknowledge it, acknowledge it, acknowledge it. The more you acknowledge it, then you can fight fire with fire. Let me put it to a different way. If I go, okay, what I want everybody to do right now, close their eyes for a second. Yes, close your eyes. Everybody around you will think you're weird. Close your eyes. And the one thing I want you to do is not think of a big pink elephant. A giant elephant that is pink and has like 4 legs, a massive trunk. Do not think at all about a pink elephant, okay? Whatever you do, don't think about a pink elephant. What did everybody just do? Were you all thinking about a pink elephant? One guy saw Tony Robbins. Lots of them. That's not fair. Now it won't go away. Pink elephant stuck in my head. Okay, so that's what's happening when you tell yourself to not have emotion. Do not have emotion. Do not be angry. Do not be happy. Do not be pissed off. Do not be regretful. You're just thinking of the pink elephant. It's just going to get worse. So it's like, okay, when I think about the pink elephant, it's big, it's round, da 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 da. Okay, now we've got that out of the way, that we acknowledge that's there instead of trying to act like it doesn't exist. So feel what you feel as much as you can feel it. Every trade's resulting emotions can impact the next one because your emotions drive your decisions. So if you don't feel what you feel, and if you're not aware of it, then you're not going to be able to be aware of the emotion that's going to impact your next trade. Y'all ever think about that? If you're not like going, what am I feeling right now? And just, I mean, if you're pissed off, yell. Run around. If you're frustrated, hop on a treadmill. Go work out. Whatever. But just acknowledge that it's there. Hey, I was stupid. It was a dumb thing. I'm angry about it. I did it out of fear of missing out. I didn't want to lose, so I kept moving my stop. So let the emotion out. Feel it. Acknowledge it. The sooner you acknowledge it, the sooner you can get past it and it not impact your next trade because you're aware of it. Where when you deny it, it will impact your next trade, like it or not. The more conscious you are of your feelings, the more you can use the knowledge to control your own risk. And then actually have the ability to read the market. Say out loud what you feel. And here's another challenge. I know a lot of traders aren't used to having pens and paper around. They're all computer-based. Write it down. Some of you will do this. Some of you won't do this. The ones who do will be happy they did. The ones who don't will be having the same problem in 30 days. Say what you feel and just write it down. I'm not saying you have to keep it around, but write it down. Because this is all about becoming self-aware. So that way, because if you're not self-aware, then you're going to be unaware of what's impacting your bad trading decisions. Yeah, while you're trading. Write it down because you're feeling it right then. Because it's going to impact your next trade. You better write it down. The more you do this, the faster you'll be able to fight fire with fire, which is emotional awareness of the emotion you're having. And you can go back and journal later, and that's not bad. And I actually talk about a whole exercise to do where you even record. Like you can set up a recorder, like on your phone or whatever. And you can literally talk out what you're feeling while you're taking the trade. And it's really interesting to go back and listen to yourself. You learn a lot. I have a lot more stuff like that inside the course. It goes a lot deeper. Fear of losing. It is irrational not to fear. If you're angry and you record it, it's okay. Yes. Because you're acknowledging it. The more you acknowledge it, the less that anger will actually impact your next decision. I'm not saying to like get angrier and angrier. I'm saying, when I say like go in and, feel your feelings as much as you can feel them, I'm like, be really, really, really aware of them. How will I feel if I made this trade? Well, I felt like I made it because I was angry and I wanted revenge trading. And I want to get that money back, and it was really stupid. And I know I'm angry, so I'm not going to take this next trade because this next trade right here isn't even a good setup. Even though I want to, even though I'm angry and I just want to hop in, I'm not going to take it because it's not the right setup. So you start actually talking yourself through it. So it's irrational not to fear. Fear is an anxiety and doubt, right? Would y'all agree with that? It is also a powerful weapon. There are times when as you improve, when your gut will tell you to exit. Something's up and it's time to get out. Especially when you start learning how to trend more. Once you recognize the fear of losing money, which you have to just recognize that exists. I mean, it's like intellectually, no, it does, but you have to. I'm not doing this out of fear. Fear of losing money. That's why I'm not taking the trade. We got to weed out the fear of being wrong or stupid. So first, weed out the fear of being wrong or stupid, as this leads to constant mistakes. Who has been posting inside their trade rooms, inside their mentor rooms? Who's been posting inside the elite room? Who's been posting in the forum? Or a Facebook group? Who hasn't posted in their elite rooms like a chart or the forum or anywhere? Just be honest, who hasn't posted anywhere? It's okay, you're not going to get in trouble. Okay? So, that part of that, would you agree, could be a fear of feeling stupid or being wrong? So I got some yes, definitely, sometimes. So would you rather get over the fear of being wrong and looking stupid? Or would you rather to be able to conquer the fear of losing money? Like, you sort of got to choose here. I mean, you got to go like, Am I more about my ego? In front of a bunch of people that have nothing to do with my income, as far as like they don't get hurt if I lose? Or are you more worried about losing money? You already obviously have the fear of losing money, right? That's why you don't take a bunch of trades. But you're not helping yourself with that fear if you're making mistakes and worried about being stupid. Do you think I became a great trader by acting like I was a great trader? Or do you think I asked a lot of questions that were stupid? Or that I felt were stupid? I asked a lot of questions. Right, there's no fake it till you make it in trading. You have to ask. You have to post your charts. Quit worrying about being wrong or stupid. Hope. Here's what you should actually hope. And Lori's done this. So he's helped me with this, and other traders have. Like, I was wrong on something this morning in the room, and I'm like, somebody's like, "Oh, Daryl's eating it now," and I'm like, I love being wrong. When I'm corrected about being wrong, that means I get to be right going forward. So try to be wrong. Like, put it out there, hoping they find where you were wrong. You know, fell fast, fell forward, right? Literally, like, be like, I'm going to put out these mistakes or these trades or this bad day, or I'm going to put out what I think is right as an answer to a question, even though it may be wrong. I'm going to put it out there. And if I'm wrong, I'll be corrected, and then I'll be right going forward. So, like, embrace the desire to be wrong. Yep, some of y'all have a lot of wrong material to put out there, which is good, because the sooner you put it out there, the sooner you can get it right. Yeah, exactly. Joshua says, every time I'm corrected, I like it as a compliment. I take it as a compliment because it makes me 1,000 times better. Let's see, Doug, I started posting my losses and even wrote I felt like the only one that was losing. Everyone in the room was like, nah, man, I took some of those same bad trades. So first, it just put it out there like he wasn't the only person. You know, Grant, maybe I'm not that smart, but if you learn all the rules and a ton, let's see here. If you learn all the rules, and Lori, you've worked so hard to teach us, then there's nothing to get angry about. You will have losing trades, but at the end of the day, you should be up, and the mentor groups are here to help you on the good trades and help you on reviewing the bad ones as well. Exactly. I feel I haven't studied the material thoroughly enough, and I shouldn't bother people. That's another one. Anybody else feel like that? Like you're just bothering people? Like, I need to watch the videos till I master them before I really ask any questions. Okay, so there's like 6 people that feel like they're bothering people if they haven't mastered it, or are there more people that feel like you're bothering people by asking questions because you feel like you should know more before you ask a question? Anybody? Okay, so that's a great one. I'm glad you brought that up. Think about this. Any of y'all, I know you're not all going to relate to this, but anybody in here ever go fishing or been fishing with somebody before? I mean, even just for fun, like once or twice. Drinking, talking about fishing, which can include that. All right. Do you ever clean a fish before you catch it? Has anybody ever cleaned a fish before they catch it? Okay, a lot of y'all are laughing and being like, no, that's stupid. Got to land it to catch it. Well, you're trying to clean the fish before you catch it if you're not going to ask a question in the room till you got it. that hit anybody? So I'll say it again. You're not going to clean a fish. You're trying to clean the fish before you catch it if you're waiting until you got it to put the questions in the room. It makes no sense. That's the whole point of the room. If you don't want to bother anyone, that means you want to clean a catch before you fish it, because you don't want to really go out and catch it. You just want to clean it first and then catch it. Quit worrying about bothering people and start worrying about becoming a better trader. Do you know, Rob, that you actually make everybody in those groups better traders by asking questions? Do you think I'm a better trader? I mean, just think about me. Do you think I'm a better trader because I've answered thousands of people's questions? Do you think it's made me improve in my trading constantly? So you're doing them a favor when you ask a question because it makes you get better to have to answer it. So you're helping them improve by you asking your wrong, stupid question. Does that make it a little bit different for you? Like you're actually helping them by bothering them? And does it help to realize that you're literally trying to clean a fish before you catch it if you don't ask questions until you got it down? Like how ridiculous that is? Why would we have mentor groups for people who have it down? Like that. Why? So post. All right. So you want to go over the fear of losing? First, acknowledge that you have a fear of losing money, but weed out the fear of being wrong and stupid, because that's what's going to lead to your big mistakes. Okay? So we talked about this. You must embrace uncertainty in what you feel about it so you can sit between the spectrum of fear and loss and fear of missing out. There's always going to be some fear to the uncertainty of trading. It's not going to go away. But you must accept that that fear exists. Okay, I'm afraid I'm going to lose on this trade because I don't want to lose. You know, one of the biggest things that helped me on losing was starting to look at it like inventory instead of losing. Losing to me is being stupid, trading stupid, taking trades I shouldn't, not taking trades I should. That is the fear I have. I don't want to do that. As far as losing, man, I could have cargo come in and cargo, like, let's say, 20 boxes come in, 10 boxes go out, 30 boxes come in, 20 boxes go out. At the end of the day, I just want there to be more boxes in than out. It's business. In and out, in and out. You want more income at the end of it. It's just inventory. And in our case, we're trying to get like 10 boxes 3 times. And if we lose 20 boxes, okay, 20 boxes are out. We need to get some more boxes in. How about win-loss? It's inventory. I mean, isn't that what it really is? It's just inventory and cash, right? It is annoying, and it's okay to revel in it. Own the fact that there's ambiguity in the markets no matter what. So it is literally okay to go, Sometimes the markets are just tough. Some days they're flying like last Friday. Sometimes they're slow like molasses like today. There's ambiguity. You're just not going to know if it's going to work. But either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. remember when I was talking to a trading psychologist that one of my mentors hired me as part of his mentorship, and she works with floor traders. And I talked to her about, sometimes the fear of, hitting the buttons and stuff. And she's like, well, either you can not hit the buttons and just quit trading, or you can start hitting them when you're supposed to. But you only have two choices. Hit the button when you're supposed to, or just stop trading. And that was so simple, but I was like, that's a good point. It allows you to deal with anxiety when you realize that there's just not certainty. Like when you feel like I must be certain, when you're like, I'm certain that I'm uncertain what's going to happen next. Okay, well then when I'm like, what's going to happen? Is it going to profit? Is it not going to profit? Well, I'm already aware that I don't know. You got to be okay with it, but you got to acknowledge it. Y'all liking this? All right, cool. Fear of missing out. Greed is the disguise. You have fear of missing out? I mean, all it is greed, right? But it's actually not about the extra money. It's about fear of missing out. Think about Black Friday sales. I don't want to miss out on that sale. And all of a sudden people are like slamming at doors at 3 a.m. in the morning. Citigroup, when the financial crisis was happening and they went back and they asked them, like, why were y'all still like trading in all these? And they're like, the music was playing, we had to dance. Like we weren't going to miss out on this huge bubble. That's why we kept doing these REITs and everything else. It's going up, I got to buy now. And then slam, right? 2,000 bust, right? Everybody got in at the top. Y'all remember that? People piling in like crazy. Moving to break even and then getting stopped out. Now, I show you some examples of ways to trail. But have y'all realized by now that as long as you take the ones that don't have things in their way, that most of these, one, will make the 10 ticks? Have y'all seen that consistently? Have y'all also seen that if you jack with them and mess with them and tighten up all the time, without having the experience, that you'll probably get knocked out a lot at break even? So this one is huge. Often it results in the tantrum trades afterwards. Yeah, you got that. Well, it's 2 ticks, not 20, but it's also 2 ticks, not positive 10, and positive 10, and positive 10. And when it's slow and you want to tighten it, think about it when it's slow. Is it more likely to oscillate up and down if it's slow? So you're more likely to get stopped out at break even? Yeah. I mean, just go replay this morning, like from 10 a.m. to noon. Identify the pattern of where it's going. Markets pause, they breathe, they rest. If you can get this down, then you'll start learning how to take some really big trades. Like Lori, she had a one and done this morning. She called a short. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? I should have saw that stack. That was a great short. That was where I actually took the trade, but I didn't feel like calling it out. I didn't feel confident until I paid attention that it was right off a stack. And she took that thing all the way down right to settlement. It was a massive trade. And that was her trade. She was done. It wasn't straight down. It wiggled. But it made it all the way there. She's like, this is where it's going. I'm going to give it room and stay out of the way. So if y'all want to ever learn to get beyond 10 ticks, you're going to have to learn to let it go 10 ticks. Does that make sense? If you can't deal with the oscillations to get to 10, how are you going to deal with the oscillations when it's up 5 points, pulling back 3 before it goes down 20 more? I mean, I have trades that I put on that I'm like, here's my stop, here's my take profit, move to a certain point, I move it. I'm like, okay, it's going to here, it's going to be ugly, I'm going to get out of the way. And I'll walk away from the trade. I mean, I watch it on my phone, just watching the markets, but I just get my hands away from the keyboard. And that fear of missing out is going to make you jump into trades that you shouldn't jump into. It's also going to make you take profits too soon or tighten stops too soon. This is a big one right here. The markets don't know you're at break even. Right? They have no idea. It's an exchange, which means you're completely anonymous. Sometimes it feels like they're coming for you, but really it's usually you coming for you. And if you go back to the webinar where I talked about this, I talked about this a lot in the course. But I talk about like the 3, what is the name of it? Hold on. I don't have time to get into it tonight, but it's in the course, so you should definitely get it. Basically, it's like fractal geometry, but it's going in and it tells you about how to literally, I teach you how to use what you think to know where people will put their stops so you can actually trade with market movers versus be the target. Because the more that you learn what you're feeling, the more you know what other people are feeling. And I go into this whole example about how this newspaper did like the first Miss America. And they had people judge their top 10, but then they actually also had them judge who they thought would win the top 10. And they took the winners from who they thought would win the top 10. So it's like, you have your preferences. Now what do you think most people will actually like? I go into that like second and third level of thought. And that's how we're able to, you're like, how are you able to read that? It's because I'm aware of myself. Where would I put my stop? What would I do? And now I'm a step ahead of me. If I'm a step ahead of me, I'm a step ahead of everybody else. And I'm starting to trade with the market movers. And I go into that pretty deep. Let's see here. Anticipate that you're going to miss out on big moves. Question, is it more important to move to -2? I don't move to -2 barely ever, Grant. Like, it's really rare. Like, something has to pop up that makes me nervous about the trade. Whether it be range bound or not. Like, it's a rarity. Hold on. Go down. Somebody had a question. Let me see if I can find it. Making sure I'm subscribed to it. It's under Mastery Course, All-in Mind Mastery. You sign up for it, by the way, if y'all are looking for it under the Account tab. But let's see. Okay, the trifocals. This is a big section where I talk about being ahead of the market. And then I go into fractal geometry down here. So trifocals is, it's labeled section 4, but it's really part 3. I think it's mislabeled, but whatever. The third video. Anticipate that you are going to miss out on stuff. Anticipate that you're going to regret trades. Where do you sign up again? Hold on, I'll show you. So right here at the top on the home page, when you sign in, then just go to sign up for any plan or product, okay? And that'll load the page up. It won't show for me because I've already signed up for it, but it'll be on the list. Okay? I already have it, so it's not there. But and you can pay with PayPal, PayPal credit, Visa, MasterCard, debit card, whatever. Yeah, difficult you know is you missed out that somebody else got and made it all. That's okay. I'm not trying to get it all. You know, I mean, if any of y'all ever went out deep sea, we talk about fishing, getting back into that. You go out deep sea fishing, and I've caught fish as big as me, like massive. My daughter's caught fish bigger than her that had another fish inside of it. Like it was biting on the fish. She caught the little fish, and the big fish latched on. Do you think there were other bigger fish? Are there bigger fish that can always be caught? Do you know the best traders in the world go for the middle third of a trend? And that's it. The best in the world. Did y'all know that? If you can get the middle third of trends, you are the best of the best. The best of the best traders in the world go for the middle third of a trend. They can get 30% of the entire, not necessarily the middle, but if they can get 30% of that entire move, they're considered the best of the best. So this whole bullcrap idea that people sell online about grabbing the entire trend and da-da-da, the best of the best are going for the third. We're not even going for a third right now. We're just trying to get 10 ticks often. And that can still put you in the six-figure club. The $250,000 club. That's just trading one market. So this whole idea that I'm trying to capture the big move, who cares? You're trying to capture 30 ticks. 10 ticks is a lot easier than capturing 10 points. Would you agree with that? I mean, capturing, let's just say capturing 10 ticks 3 times is easier than capturing 30 ticks. Do y'all agree with that statement in one trade? Okay. Are there times when you can justify going for more? Yes. We are going to be teaching you about that. Okay? So, anticipate missing out and regret. Long, short, wrong, whatever. Out early, left dollars on the table. Who cares? Out late. Well, I gave a lot back because you were trailing. Okay? When you start to learn to trail, you're always going to See it go up and come back down. That's one of the biggest number one issues people had when I was teaching a lot of trailing stuff was, man, I'm up like 500 and then I'm down to only like up 100 or 200. That jacks with your head. That's why I'm like, get down being consistent on 10 ticks. Occasionally, you can just nail it. Nail the trade right at the entry and the exit. And it's like, boom, boom, perfect. I'm talking about like top and bottom. And every once in a while I do that. And it's freaking awesome. But it's occasional. It's not the thing I expect to happen. I expect to give back. I expect to have, man, I wish I would have made more. Or I wish I would have tightened up. Do y'all agree you're going to have that? Like that regret is going to happen. You wish you would have like stayed in longer, or you wish you would have tightened up. Like that's going to be happening. And sometimes it's just you're going to grab your 10 ticks and you're like, man, I'm glad I did. Y'all probably seen that a lot lately where you're like, you're glad you grabbed your 10 ticks because it pulled back. More often than not, you see it go like 10 or 15 and then that thing pulls back. But there's other time it gets big, and we see that exception as the rule. We see that like 10, 20, 30-point move, and we think, man, if I figure out how to get that, I can really make money. It's like, no, that's sort of like the lure, you know? If you can just get 10 ticks 3 times a day, you can get in that 6-figure club. Anticipate the regret. Do not want the second, want more than what we don't want third, lower probability. Let's see here. Do not want the second, want more than we don't want third, lower probability. I don't even remember what I was trying to say there. Oh, here we go. Good, I got an example. Get out now. Take profits good, it might go further equals regret. Wait for my trade to move further equals let profits run. It might reverse and I will give all my money back equals regret. Put in a trailing stop. I get a chance to make more, but I might regret giving it back when it reverts to my trailing stop to the tick and then continues limiting upside. Regret. So if I get out now and I don't trail, well, the profits feel good, but it keeps going further, so I have regret. If I wait for it to move further and I let profits run, it might reverse and I'll give all my money back. And I have regret because I had money and I gave it back because I didn't just take it. But if I did take it, then I have regret because it kept going. Or I put in a trailing stop and it goes up, but then it pulls back to my trailing stop and then it keeps going and I have regret. Okay, so everybody in here is like, this is me. You're talking about me, right? So when you start getting into trends, this is one of the biggest things you're going to have to deal with. Why do you think I've been really slow on talking about trending? Because it is one of the most regret-based pieces. Yeah, you've done all three. At least you only have to deal with like A, where I took profits and it might go further. At least we've limited you down to one regret to begin with. But you got to deal with that one first. Okay? You ever thought about winners feel bad? You didn't stay in long enough or you got out too soon? Any of y'all that have been around and trading for a while? It's like the winners, you think you'd be happy. But you didn't stay out long, you didn't stay in long enough or you got out too soon, so therefore you're not ever really happy with the winner. They feel bad. We expect the losers to feel bad, but we don't expect the winners to feel bad. We fail to realize winners put us often in a no-win situation as far as satisfaction, like we're never satisfied with them. It's really ironic, isn't it? Yeah, it's odd. It's like, but when you realize that, especially as you want to start moving to trending, which is what we're going to be doing coming back into the new year, and what we're building up to on your 90-day plan, okay? You got to realize this stuff. That emotion is going to be there, and you're pretty much never going to be totally happy with a winner. So exactly, get 10 ticks down now, master that, and be like, get the emotional stuff down now. So when we dive in deeper, you're only going to have more emotion to deal with, okay? So here's where you are. Position is working. You take profit. It could keep going or it could reverse. Position is, working. You wait for a profit run. It could reverse or it could keep going. Position is working. You could trail the stop. You could get back or you could limit your upside. Like, this is the chart of dealing with a winner when you start trailing. Do y'all think you might want to have a psychological edge to be able to deal with this? And have as much ammo to deal with this as possible? Do you think you're going to need order prints to give you confidence of where you should actually be trailing so you can feel good about where you moved it to? And master it to a different level? And not just the OP that you know now, but I'm talking about on a whole, I'm talking about the taking to the full 12-month, 6-figure plan OP. Do you think you're going to need that to learn how to deal with this emotionally? Not only the OP, but mastering yourself. So you have to recognize that regret, you're powerless to go back and change a mistake. If, only if. Missing entries. Then you fire off a target that you shouldn't. You regret it because you get in late. So how do you dilute regret? First, you acknowledge it. I regret that I did this or I didn't do this. Man, I wish I would have stayed in that trade for those 10 points. I regret not doing that. Just say it. But you never know. It could have turned around and went the other way. Acknowledge the uncertainty. Stop trying to be certain. Stop trying to be certain. Embrace the conflict. Feel the conflict. Then you won't act on the conflict. You won't move a stop or take profit because of fear of regret, which is why some of you are doing that constantly, even just for 10 ticks. Learn to succeed with uncertainty. That might be a line you want to write down, because that is a big key to you overcoming this. Y'all getting this? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? How many of y'all are learning that actually attended the all-in event or watched the stream? How many of y'all are actually learning again? Like, yeah, you've been there, you saw it, you were at it, you watched it online, but like you're learning right now, and this is the exact same material that we did at the live event. So one of those things that's actually worth not only seeing, but seeing more than once, right? Feels like it's the first time. Picking it up more now. Well, I was like, this is really weird. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So we got people that went to the event when I was teaching this live, and right now they feel like it's the first time that they're learning this again. You're learning to appreciate it more because you traded longer. What about perfectionism? Fear of being wrong makes it nearly impossible to enter life trades. Would y'all agree? Think about my results. Think about the stats over the last. We had over 100 trades, and I think, let's say 4 losses. I'm not even sure if there's 4, but let's just say 4 losses and over 100 trades that we've called. Do you think I don't? I mean, you think you have fear? Be the guy calling it out with 200 people in the room pushing the button at the same time you are. Do you think I've had to master this? And you know what? It doesn't faze me. Because I built up the confidence in calling the trades. I built up the confidence in putting in the trades. I built up the confidence of taking the trades. And now I'm just following the system. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But there's nothing I can do about it. I've acknowledged that fear and I got over that fear. And it made me become a better trader. As the results have shown. So, there's a loss. Okay. Next trade. It's uncertain. So, does this type of training help you? Like, really? Like, is this... Is in some ways this almost better than a technical indicator webinar? So, would some of y'all like to have access to the full 7-part course on mental capital? And I'm hoping that you don't feel like this is a big sales pitch. I hope you're feeling like I'm giving you an insane amount of value and I'm just trying to give you access for a really low cost. Because the all-in course cost $1,000. But we lowered this down. Actually, didn't we lower it lower than that? John? Yeah, it's $237. I don't have the right price on there. That's what happens when I get to make the PowerPoint. I start raising the prices. Just kidding. Shows you how much I'm not thinking about sales. Let me change that for you. Here we go. Right now, it is $237. There we go. And he still doesn't want to change the slide. Y'all better hurry up because it's obviousobviously going up. The PowerPoint says so. We'll try it one more time. There we go. But I really feel like I wanted to get this in everybody's hands. I'm like, I know, yeah, inflation. Yeah, Maroney and Grant, they got to pay $327, but everybody else. But it's $237. You get the entire course. You can watch it. Do you think this might be something that's worth watching over the Christmas break when there's not near as much trading activity and you probably shouldn't be like chancing running your Christmas by trading that week? They're like, people don't destroy your Christmas by trading your live account during Christmas. Okay? Like, it's $1,000 and I lost it. Tomorrow's Christmas. No, don't. All right? Would this be a worthwhile investment? You can watch it on your phone. I don't know if you can. You can't download it, but you can watch it. Like, would this help you have a better 2000 and 20. Okay, so like I said, I hope y'all feel like this isn't some big sales pitch. But literally, if you go to try to sign up for the all-in course, it's $1,000. That's what we charge for it. I'm literally trying to get this in y'all's hands. We spent a lot of money making this thing. If you were there, you know. We had professional videographers come in, recorded. This is literally live. I have people saying, "Literally, this is the most important training." So, again, it's under the account menu. Okay? By the way, I have some more stuff to teach you, so don't log off yet. But again, it's under the account menu. Just click up the sign up for any product link. Speaking of, Christmas break, and I mean, we're going to have a couple more webinars. We have another webinar next week or whatever, I think, don't we? I don't even know. Do we have another webinar next week, or is it the week after? Is next week Christmas already? Yeah, Thursday this week we have another webinar. Okay, good. It's coming up fast. Starting out the new year strong on a good path to 12 months. What is the best use of your time to get towards those 6 figures? Market replay and doing this, or live trading? What do you think is actually going to get you there? Yeah, replay and mental capital, that is a good use of your time off. Posting in the mentor groups, yes. Asking questions, yes. Okay? I'm trying to get y'all to use that week in a good way versus feeling like you have to trade, because it's a very light liquidity week. You're already seeing that starting to take effect. So it's not like, oh man, I feel like I'm wasting my time because I can't trade. No, you're actually making it where you can make a lot more money when the new year rolls out and the volume comes in. Okay? All right, so y'all know where to sign up, right? And y'all know that this is good till Friday, right? All right. So, rollover. Y'all need to know how to add 2 instruments, because some of y'all are doing market replay and you're trying to do replay, but you're trying to download the wrong data. This weekend's Friday. Christmas week starts next week. So I want to show you something, because some of y'all don't know how to do this. Like right now I have NQ0320 in here, right? But what if you want to replay from the downloaded data? Do you think you want to really replay 0320 when it wasn't liquid and active before it rolled over? You probably want to replay what? Do you think 1230 would be a much better thing to replay? Or 1219, I mean? Is anybody there on the replay? Do you hear me? So, don't be replaying 0320. You can have wide bid offers and all that stuff. Replay NQ 1219, but I don't know how to get NQ 1219 in. Okay, well, select NQ, go over here, and then just choose NQ 1219 and add it. And now you have 1219 and 320. So when you go to open your chart for replay, you can select the NQ 1219 chart. Does that make sense? When you load your 125 days, load them up NQ 1219. And then when you say file, and then you download the data and you say file, connect to market replay, make sure you're looking at NQ 1219. A lot of you are looking at 320 and wondering why everything's not working correctly. Does that, I know that's simple, but if you're new, maybe you didn't know how to put 2 contracts on. Does that help a couple people? and I know it better because like we probably had 20 tickets on it today. So delete the 1219 when you roll over for live trading. But if you're going to do replay this coming week or tonight or whatever, add 1219 back in so you can do replay on the liquid 3 months we just had. Okay? You'll only use the 1219 for replay. You'll use 320 for live trading. Make sense? Not make sense to anybody? Yeah, if you want to like replay 320, then you can replay like 1 week. You can go and download 1 week of data and you can do 320. But if you want to do like weeks of replay, you got to do 1219. Okay. Make sure you're on the current contract on all contracts listed. So make sure all your charts for your live trading, okay, are all on the current contract. If you have different markets up, make sure they're all rolled over. I see some of y'all still in there with like 919 when I hop on your computers and stuff. Get rid of that stuff or roll it over, okay? Save your workspaces when you make changes. Big thing. A lot of people are like, I opened my charts, I built them all, and I closed Ninja, and then I open it up, and there's nothing there. It's because you didn't save your workspace. Anytime you make a change to your charts, save your workspace. Okay? So, again, load the 1219 as well as the 320. Batch replay only the 1219. Don't, unless you're going to do just 1 week of data, do not batch load. Don't even use my batch for 320, okay? That I put on the site. Make sure 1219 on the chart. Make sure you're not trying to connect to live data and replay data at the same time. Okay? Make sure you're not trying to connect to live data and replay data at the same time. We've seen people try to do this, or they've tried to make replay data their backup, or you connect to your live data, you load your chart, you disconnect from your live data, then you connect to your replay data. Okay? And hop in the mentor rooms and ask for help. Like, y'all will learn. And remember, like, if you're trying to add or remove something from your instrument manager, you use the arrows. You don't hit, just use the arrows, okay? You're not going to delete your default list. This is for the whole list. The new and delete. Don't do that. Use your arrows. Like if I want to get rid of 1219, I use my arrow to get rid of it. Save. Select an instrument. I thought I did. Oh, I did. It's gone now. I hit twice. All right. If you're going to try to do the big download batch, it's going to take a while to load everything, and you got to be patient. Walk away, let everything load. It's a big process. Get over it. Okay? Just let it load and go do something, and then come back, and then disconnect, and then reconnect to the other one. Don't wait like 2 or 3 minutes and then go submit a help desk ticket because it's not fast enough. In my video, I literally said, pause this while it takes time, because it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? Remember, load your live data. It will take a while. Then disconnect and connect to your replay data. I have 2 videos on there. I should suggest you watch first. First, watch the one in Section 7, Part 6. Okay? It's the simple replay video. It's the best one to watch. If you want to dive deep into replay after you've watched that one, then dive into the one under webinars. But Section 7, Part 6. It'll also help you master orders. Order prints. Reminder, we get this ticket constantly, and I don't know how many times I can say it in videos and everywhere else. When you first load your charts, they're going to be blank. They're not going to have any order prints on them. It doesn't mean they're broken. They will not match the room. Leave your screen on and you'll see, and make sure you're connected, and you'll start seeing numbers printing on bars going forward. You may not see X boxes immediately, but you'll see numbers, like a number printing above the bar. It won't look like the screen in the room until you have a lot of live play. You can use the current charts, or you can ask for a current download file in the room after 11 a.m. I'm not going to give you one at 9 a.m. I'm trading, okay? But I can get you caught up. I can give you a file that's like up to the minute. But remember, the OP download just downloads from the date on the OP. And so many people are missing this, and I don't know why. Like, if I could figure out why, I would change whatever it is I need to change. But right here, it literally says, current as of 12/13/4/15. Notice, this will overwrite any order prints data you have since that date above on Friday. Okay? But it's just going to load from that date, from 12/13 back. Or whatever date I have up there. It's not going to have, so like today if you load it, you'd have to scroll back to 12/13 to see order prints data. If you want a live current one, you're going to have to ask me in the room like after 11 o'clock. Now, if you leave your computer on all week, which is what I do, then it will record all the data. But if you turn your computer off, if you disconnect, if you don't turn off auto updating on your computer, if you let your computer go to sleep. So my computer is set to not go to sleep and to not auto update. So that way it won't shut down on me in the middle of the night and I lose the OP. I just leave my computer on and connected. Now what about like, well, I have a computer I need to reboot now and then. Reboot it like at 5 o'clock when the market's closed and there's no OP data being recorded. You don't have to worry about emptying the OP3 before you drop it in because it'll write over it. Again, it will write over it. So all you'll have is what's in that drop down. When you're in market replay, it will build the OP data going forward, which is really cool. You could actually go into market replay and build it all the way up, and then the OP data will be there when you go over to your live chart. So Christopher, like, that's what he does. He hops in if he doesn't have what he needs, and he runs replay at 500 speed to build all the OP up, and then he goes over and connects to live. And you can do that. And I talk about that actually in that video. That first short video in section 7, part 6. Okay? It won't build if the computer is not on and Ninja is not connected to data. Your data won't update if you're not connected to data. I know this is obvious, but it's not. All right, so reminder, spread the word. Keep interacting with the website, with the forum, with your groups. And sign up before Friday. Get access to that course. I'm making it really cheap because $237. How many trades does it take to be wrong because of an emotion to pay for it? It could easily cover itself in 1 or 2. Yeah. Okay, so it's not an expense. Make one bad trade and then go, wow, I wish I had more of this emotion down. Then you'll go, yep, I wish I would have bought the course. So I try to make it literally basically the cost of a trade, making a bad trade because of emotions. All right, y'all get a lot out of that today? Good webinar? Awesome. We have another really cool one planned out for Thursday, where I'm going to dive into obstructions. This was Christopher Wall's idea. So make sure you register for that one. And I even have a couple webinars set up for next year already. Going into dynamic magnets. And we're going to talk about the New Year 90-day challenge in depth. So make sure you hop on and register for the upcoming webinars right now before you get off. Okay? We'll start releasing option courses in late April. The 6-3 rule is basically stop if you're down net 6 trades, which is pretty hard to do, or stop when you're up net 3. So if you lost 1 and it took 2 to make it back, again, this is without going into the future level of actually trailing, then it may take 5 trades to, be net 3. 5 winning trades to be net 3. So once you're up 30 ticks, stop. And that's the whole point. If you're down net 6, there's something very wrong. Now, I have a very special surprise coming up on the webinar next Thursday. You're not going to want to miss it. And I'll talk a little bit about it, but how would y'all like to get 3 days in person with me and Lori, focusing on becoming a 6-figure trader in 12 months? Not going and doing a bunch of fun, like we've had some big, exciting, really cool live events where we do a bunch of fun things, which is cool. But our thought is, what if we literally taught, live traded, and spent a ton of time by the pool and on the patio and round tables and laptops open and pick our minds about everything you want, and we can go over anything with you in person. 3 days of that. I'm just trying to get it like a test, because we got to figure out how to reserve. I think we got a hotel narrowed down, and I think we got cost really low. But this is going to be a little different than our past events. This is going to be a lot more about 12 months to 6 figures, getting down deep into it. That's why the first webinar coming up is the 90-day challenge, because right about the end of March, when we're going to have this event, it's going to be right pretty much when that 90 days is up. So you're now in the 10% club. Now let's get you to the 6-figure club. And the idea is, maybe you have to get off work, but get off work so you don't have to. So in 12 months, you don't have to ask to be off work because you already quit your job. I would go ahead and start the 90-day challenge right now if you've been on for at least 30 days. So the dates, Cameron, what are the dates that we have? I don't want to quote them wrong. I'm going to give a lot more details. But we're sort of going to expect, only people who are silver, gold, platinum can come to the event. Because we want to make sure people actually have the basics down. Because this isn't like, okay, let's teach a setup too. Okay? So this is, let's teach how to really rock these trades and do some of the stuff that me and Lori do. Let's teach you how to get to that, 6 figures, 12 months goal. So we're looking at March. We're going to start on the morning of the 19th and the 20th, and then we'll end around 4 o'clock on Saturday on the 21st. So if you want to book your tickets, feel free to go ahead and book them. It is the cheapest weekend to book tickets. It is the cheapest. And we're also getting a really good rate on the hotel. Like I said, I'll give you all the details. I'm just trying to get a temperature check. But do you think you might need that psychology piece in place before you get there? Oh, we're going to give you 2 months notice. We're finalizing the contracts right now. it will in no way be streamed. It will not be recorded. It will not be streamed because this is about being in person. This is literally about, I mean, you get streamed all the time with me and Lori in the room. This is one-on-one helping you. I mean, I charge $250 an hour. We're talking about 3 days. So the exact dates are the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Suggested fly-in is on the 18th. Fly out either late on the 21st or the 22nd. But I'll give all the details like as soon as I have the contract signed. I mean, that's when we're doing it no matter what. But I'm just trying to, I want to give you the hotel details and everything else. It'll be flying into DFW. Yep. And the hotel we're looking at will actually give transportation from the airport to the hotel. Okay, so looks like quite a few good responses. And like I said, we're just, to me, like if 100 people show up, great. If 30 people show up, great. I want to put time in. So, I mean, I'm not going anywhere those 3 days. Like I'm living at the hotel. I am there just to have conversations with you. So we're not going out and doing big events where we're watching something. There's some really cool stuff to do nearby. You want to go out and have fun. There's going to be plenty of fun stuff to go do. But be right there. And we're finalizing everything, and the goal is to keep the cost as low as possible. We're not going to do big packages. We're not going to do VIP packages. It's going to be simple. Cover your food, cover the conference room, cover all the audio-visual stuff we got to pay for, all that. It'll be March 19th, 20th, and 21st. So we're keeping it simple. That sound good? Simple and personal. Awesome. Okay, well, details are coming. Get your minds right. Okay? So we can get there. All right, y'all have a good night. This is a long webinar. Thanks for hanging in there. And I will see you in the room tomorrow morning. Let's rock it. All right, y'all have a good night. By the way, if you need tech support, hop on the chat. I'm willing to hop on anybody's computer that needs help. Okay? So if you're stuck on something and you need help, I'm going to stick around for another hour. So hop on the website and click on the chat icon, and I will help you. Okay? So right now I got one person asking. Now I got another person asking. Okay? So be patient with me. Give me like 2 minutes to go to the bathroom. And then I'm going to stick around and I'm going to help until everybody has been helped. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good evening. And if you need help, then do so. Yeah, I'll give you some details on that, Stephanie, as well. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good night.